I would say technology is as complicated as you make it. Humans define what is complex. There are pieces of technology or principle. And again, this is where I go back oftentimes to principles, because there's principles that influence your decision making. So the principles you hold is going to lead to more complicated, more or simpler solutions to things, or if it's going to be easier to maintain, or all of these kind of things. Like the principles are what drive that. Now, that's not to say that there's not some tech. The principles that drove the building of that tech inherently made it complicated. So I'm not at all going to say like, oh my gosh, tech in itself can't make things more complicated. But I would say that oftentimes when folks are like, oh, I have a problem, let me use this tech to solve it, and they don't think about it, and they don't think about the side effects, they don't think about the long-term maintainability, they don't think about like the other pieces. Again, the tech inherently didn't make it more complicated. It was the person that chose to just add it willy-nilly with not thinking about the side effects to it that made it more complicated inherently. So the complexity to me always comes from people, not from technology. Now I will definitely have opinions that some things are like, man, this is way overcomplicated. But the reason why the technology that's complicated exists is that there are some scenarios where it's justified. The value of the complexity is justified to solve the problem at hand. I would be very hard to find a technology that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is always wrong. Probably would have some opinions, but it might like hurt some people's feelings. But that being said, I would say very, 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 most of the time, it's not going to be the tech that makes it more complex. It's the people that made the choices. So it's organizational, whether it's individuals that made the choice or the organization that values a certain set of premises that then lead to more complex problems.